Hi guys, so it's a very special day today because it is my birthday. So today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple birthday cake. So I'm going to show you how to make a really yummy, moist chocolate fudge cake, which is so nice. So the things you're going to need to make this lovely chocolate cake is I've got 175 grams of self-raising flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. You're also going to need 150 grams of caster sugar, 150 ml of milk and 150 ml of oil, 2 tablespoons of golden syrup, so that's for your cake. And then you're also going to need 2 sandwich tins lined with greasy paper. You're going to need a whisk, mixing bowl and so we're going to start off by sieving our flour, cocoa and bicarb. Just sieve that just to make sure that they're nice and smooth and nicely combined. Just take a whisk, just give it a quick whisk. Okay, you're looking for this nice light brown sort of floury mixture, I suppose. So I'm going to set that to one side and we're going to take our milk and our oil. And we're also going to crack in our 2 eggs. One and 2. And then just using a fork or small whisk, I've got this cool little whiskey type thing. Okay, you just want to sort of whisk those through and break up the egg yolks. Okay, so we've got one nice smooth colour. So now we're going to take our flour mixture. I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. So just take a big tablespoon, and that's 1 tablespoon. And a 2nd tablespoon of golden syrup goes in there. You also want to add in your milk, oil and egg mix. So now that we've got our oil, milk and egg mixture in there, you just want to whisk that through so you get a nice, smooth, thick mixture. So once you've mixed them through, you've got a nice, smooth, chocolatey mixture. You just want to really whisk it quite hard, get lots of air into it. Okay, and just do that for about 30 seconds. Just realised I've been a bit of an idiot and I forgot to add my caster sugar. So you can add that now, but you should add it when you add your, just after you add your flour, but before you add your wet ingredients. So, sorry about that, I'm just going to mix that through. So now I want to divide this mixture between our 2 tins. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I've filled both my sandwich tins with my chocolate cake mixture, and they're going to go off into my preheated oven at 180 degrees. So my cakes have come out of the oven and you can tell they're cooked because if you press down in the centre they spring up, and if I take a skewer and I prod them in the centre, it comes out completely clean, there's no cake mixture on it. So I'm going to let them sit for about 5 minutes just to cool in the tins. So now I'm going to take you up to how to get a crumb coat onto your cakes. So what you're going to need for the crumb coat is obviously your 2 cakes. I've cooled them, they're completely cool. I've got some buttercream in a piping bag. Now I've got some purple buttercream left over from a video that you're going to see in a couple of weeks on the channel. Okay, it doesn't matter what the buttercream is, you could use chocolate would be better, but I'm just using up this purple. That's in a piping bag with just no tip, just a large open. You're going to need some sort of filling. I've gone with Nutella because I love Nutella, but you could use lemon curd, raspberry jam, anything you like. You're going to need chocolate buttercream. To learn how to make chocolate buttercream, click the bowl now. You're also going to need a variety of spatulas. So I've got a large offset spatula, a small offset spatula, a large palette knife and a rubber spatula. So we're going to start off, oh, you're also going to find this really handy. This is a turntable and a cake board. Now I've run out of circular cake boards, but circular cake boards will be preferable, and that's going to spin. So we're going to start off by taking some of our chocolate buttercream. You don't need very much. And just putting a little smear on the base, and that's going to glue our cake down. Then take one of your cake layers. Okay. You can see here, I've got a little bit of a gap where it didn't rise evenly. So just take some of that chocolate buttercream, just place it roughly there. And I'm going to use my small spatula to run it round there. And that's just going to make it a bit more even. We're kind of using the buttercream to sort of build up our cake. Just make sure it's flat, just put it along there. You can also then put a thin layer of buttercream. When I say thin, I mean really thin, because you're going to get that filling around the Nutella filling. A really thin layer of buttercream on your middle of your cake. Okay, try not to get too much around the edges. Then you're going to take your buttercream in your piping bag. You just want to pipe a large ring around the outside of your cake. And this is going to kind of be a dam. Oh, lovely Nutella. Just going to come next. So, then I'm going to grab a nice big spoon. Grab a nice big spoonful of Nutella. Just plop it in the middle. Use your finger. One rule of using Nutella: you never wash up. You never wash your fingers. It's always lick. So just gently, because Nutella is quite sticky, so it will try and pull up that frosting below. That's why we put a thin layer of frosting on, so it doesn't pull up all that cake. So gently spread that Nutella around the cake, and I'm not really lifting my palette knife up apart from then much. I'm keeping it onto that Nutella, so that's going to mean that we don't pull all our Nutella up. So just spread that out nice and smooth, and then without moving your cake everywhere, and then finally just give it one lift off. Oh dear, see, that's what you don't want. You don't want your Nutella to pick up all of that cake. So carefully just give it a lift off. It doesn't look very neat, no, but it is the middle of the cake after all. Now we've filled our cake with Nutella, you're going to take your other cake and flip it upside down and press it on top. And that's going to mean that we've got a flat top. Now, if you've used another colour buttercream like I have, and you've got any coming out the edge there like that, just take a spatula, just run it around the outside, and just wipe it off. Just take your spatula, put it on the outside, and make sure there's no buttercream coming out the edges. Because you don't want that chocolate buttercream to mix with your plain buttercream. Then just get down eye level and just make sure that your cake is level. So once your cake's level, another big dollop, not too much. You want to use about half your buttercream now. Nice big dollop of that buttercream. And I'm just going to use my large offset spatula now. And just spread that buttercream. You want it to be really thin, so this is what we call a crumb coat. Now what a crumb coat does is it catches any crumbs, hence the name. So then when we put our final layer of buttercream on, we don't get all these crumbs. So it wants to be really, really thin. Okay, so you want to see bits of cake through the crumb coat. Okay, and also on the outsides, you want to do it. You're going to spread cream along the top, and then scrape it so you can see bits of cake, and spread it around the outside as well. Okay, so I'm just going to do that and then I'll be back to show you the next stage. So once you put your crumb coat on, you can either put it in the freezer for about half an hour to an hour, or I just left mine in the fridge overnight. I also took some cling wrap and put that over my buttercream so that it doesn't go too hard. Obviously, inevitably it'll go hard. So just take a knife, just give it a mix, just make it go nice and spreadable again. Okay. If you find that you think it's too thick, I think mine might be a bit thick, then what you can do is just add the teeniest amount of milk. So I've literally added about a couple of teaspoons of milk there. You don't want to add too much because that's going to make it go too thin. You just want to thin it out a little bit. So just stir that milk in. And then you should have some nice spreadable buttercream again. Okay, there we go. So now I want to do exactly as we did before. So taking our spatula, just dollop a nice big amount of that chocolate buttercream onto that cake. You can use it all. We are going to need some buttercream for piping at the end, but we can always make some more if we need to. I'm just going to use a little spatula and just spread the buttercream around to the edges. Okay. So make sure it goes over the edges as well. That's a crucial bit. And then that's going to be what you can spread around the edge. So you can see now that we've done the crumb coat, if we do spread it too thinly and we see whatever's underneath this second layer of buttercream, all we're going to see is more buttercream. So it's fine because it's going to blend in nicely. So I'll spread it roughly across the top and around the edges. Doesn't matter if you can see bits through it. Okay. So now I'm going to start to go around the outside of our cake with this cream. Just go around the outside. And then take some from here. And make sure you get it to the bottom as well, that's quite important. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll be back to show you how to decorate. So I've coated my whole cake in buttercream, but this icing at the moment is far too thick. I'm going to guess it's probably just half an inch thick, so we definitely don't want that much. So what you can do, this is very things, you can use a ruler, but I'm just going to use this large offset spatula. I'm just going to hold it there, okay, just try not to do that, and I'm just going to pull some of that frosting up, and then wipe it off into the bowl. Pull the frosting up, wipe it off into the bowl. If you've made a little bit of a mess like I have here, and see, you can see some of that cake, just spread a bit more frosting over. I'm going to finish off smoothing out the top, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the sides. So now that I've smoothed off the top of my cake, and I'm pretty happy with it, we're going to smooth off the sides, and I'm going to use this. Now it's a fondant smoother technically. It's got a handle and it's just got a flat edge. But I always use it for buttercream because I think it works just as well. So just hold it like that, on a slight angle, and flat on the base of the board, and just run it around the edge like this. And if you try and do it in one smooth motion, you'll get a much smoother buttercream than if you stop and start and stop and start and stop and stop. And then just tape it off, and you can see how much buttercream that we've got off there. And then just use another palette knife just to scrape it off, like that. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I'm happy enough that my cake is smooth. So now you know how to bake and decorate a chocolate cake with chocolate buttercream. To decorate, you could use some of your leftover chocolate buttercream, and you could put that in a pastry bag, maybe with a large open star tip, and you could pipe little stars around the outside and the base, then you could put Maltesers or any other sorts of candies on. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe